Just give me a second because I don't know what's going on with the color. I don't know. It has something to do with the. I don't know what happened. Is it that? No, it's not that. Um, how's everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope um hi Karen. Hi Valema. I hope I said that right. I didn't mean to crucify your name. Right now we're going live on my YouTube. If anybody's interested on hanging out, go into my bio. It will take you straight to my YouTube live. Follow, remember to follow, remember to share. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have Sierra and Tiffany that are going to be coming on. We're going to talk about what do we do as the feminine energy. How do we make this all work for us? And you're going to hear candid from these girls what they're doing. I Okay, we're live
Yes.
actually right now. Let me go back on the screen. Okay, I'm trying to multitask here, you guys. Okay, that looks better. I don't know what happened there, but as soon as you guys, I don't know what I did. Thank you guys for joining. We're actually waiting for another guest, but uh Tiffany has a tea company. It's called Loving Cup. Is it? Yeah, Loving Cup.
Yeah.
And I'm actually having some of her tea right now. Pour I am you are I am enough. The name of this is I am enough.
Yep. I had
I
mine.
am enough. I am enough, you guys. And so this is exciting. This is
Yeah.
exciting. Finally doing it.
Yeah. Happy.
Finally getting it going. So introduce yourself.
Okay.
Tell everyone about you. Tell like what is,
hmm
talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Sierra Berry, and I am in Austin, Texas. I met Sarah because I met her online through. I started off with a multi-level marketing company. That's how I got introduced to her, and then she ended up doing my hair. We evolved from, that to okay. I think I found someone to do my hair because it wasn't a
Right.
fit, and that was really the introduction of how I learned partnership with people and networking. So multi-level marketing, even though I never stuck with the company, it introduced networking to me because as a person, I was not a networker. I was actually very antisocial, wasn't really good at keeping friends, relationships, things like that. So I started off on social media like that. Multi-level marketing ended up turning into a passion of mine. I delved into finances, but I realized that I was like, I'm not building a company out of this one. So I realized my real passion is just teaching others how to build on social media, personal brands, things like that, to start monetizing, supplementing their income, really kind of trying to save as much people as we can within the middle class because it seems like we're struggling financially because we're still trying to find two jobs or they're single mothers or they're single fathers and they're just trying to find ways to like supplement their income and they have the passion, they have the skill set. So that's what I do online. I just try to encourage people and teach them the very intermediate basics to social media just as a brand new beginner. So I've been doing that for a couple of years now.
And tell everybody your TikTok link and your
Uh,
Facebook link. So if
so
they
I
want to
actually,
follow you.
yeah, so I just rebranded it. It's called Social Noobs, NEWBS, because basically for anyone that is new to social media, my platforms are there to teach you the basics of how to create videos, how to do them on your phone, how to do them ergonomically, cheap, little tips and tricks and things like that.
Okay, Tiffany just let me know she's waiting to get
Okay.
on. Okay, let me get her on. Hi,
Thank
Tiff.
you.
This was a struggle.
No, it sure was, because I'm not used to all this technology. Sierra, you're gonna have to do a one-on-one with me.
I know it's tricky. That's what we were just talking about in the beginning.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for. Yeah, I know, girl. I'm using a new platform, and this was my first today. It was cold turkey. But we're moving into social media videos
Yes.
and stuff like that, and we got to learn.
Yeah.
So Sierra just shared
Mhm.
how she met me, what she's doing, how she came up with her passion, and she was just sharing her link. And so I will say the same to you. Kind of share with us about your vision, how long. I've known Tiffany for a long time.
She's actually known me since I was in my mother's womb.
Exactly. A very long time. Yes, yes. Her mother is amazing. That's why I think she's so amazing. Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
we did it from our mamas.
It does matter. Like I speak on that all the time on my forum. Is like your mother room is the most important room. And if that's not healed, it's hard to get your internal self together.
Mhm.
I mean, we have to learn to love who we are. But I'm gonna have you, Tiffany, share and just say, tell me, like, talk to us.
Okay, well, I'm Tiffany Nakatani, and I'm the founder and creator of Love in a Cup, where tea's a vibe. And I am also the creator of Pour, which is a self-care tea practice. And the subject or the topic under Pour is Pour into her. So what I've done is I've taken my two businesses and I've combined them together, because first off, um, I started I started with tea and herbal blends when I was experiencing some health conditions or health challenges, which was my thyroid. And the ironic thing about that is I believe that you don't just stumble into your purpose. I believe that it's there. It's a matter of us being born, going through life
Mhm.
and life's experiences that open us up step by step into what was always there, right? So it's almost like, you have these shoes that have been put aside for you.
Yes, yes.
I think she may have froze.
Froze a little bit. Tiffany, I think you froze a little bit. While she's froze, I'm gonna do an announcement. If anybody wants to come on my podcast is in the bio. I'm going live. I'm sorry you can't see, but I really would like to see you join and really show up and show out.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you for showing up, showing out. Thank you for coming on board. I really appreciate it. Oh my God. So this is the interesting thing. I like how she said finding your purpose and how your purpose comes upon you
Yes.
and how your purpose, I think she dropped.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, she'll get
About
back
to
on.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to find what is your purpose and how your purpose. And um I truly believe that your purpose is with you um at the time you're born,
Mm-hmm.
but not until you go through the process of life that your purpose is actually flowering. It's
Yeah.
like when you come into this reality, you're just there she is. Oh, Don't mute Mike. Don't mute Mike. Get her back on. Oh my gosh. I'm just learning too, everybody. I'm just learning. We're all learning. We're all learning. Okay. We're all learning.
You know,
It is a process.
I'm so
It's-
sorry. It freezes up on my end. And so I don't
Okay.
know if it's where I'm at and my internet connection that's, causing it to be a little wonky on
Yeah,
my side.
sometimes if you're in your bedroom, like I'm in my office, which I'm kind of really surprised that because sometimes in my office I can't get internet service. So a lot of times I'll go in my living room. So it just, if you go off, just come back,
Okay.
just come back
Okay.
Come back.
and we're good. We're good.
Okay.
It's all good. We're all good. I'm really loving what you were saying. So
Yeah.
I was just telling Sierra, like how you said, like you went through that process and it's like your shoes are waiting for you.
Mhm.
And what I was telling her is like, we like come into this reality, what a divine purpose. And it's as we go through our life, we are directed in certain ways to literally begin to flower our purpose.
Right.
So we start out as a little bud, and then more, we go into life and we have circumstances of life and we have changes of life. It's like we bud and we become this flower,
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly how I feel about, what's led me here and what's led me to, what I'm doing now, the work that I'm doing now. But it's definitely been this journey and process that's brought me into more of myself. I want to say
Mhm.
it's actually bringing me and has brought me home to myself, because who we are is what we've always been innately, and so it's just been.
Uh-oh.
Really
She's
good.
like,
Really
she
good.
says it's so good.
Really
She gets
good.
like the
Well, you know why? You know what the deal is because we are getting ready to make a change.
Yeah,
And whenever
absolutely.
you get ready to make a change and something dynamic is getting ready to
We're
happen,
gonna impact
we will
somebody.
get interrupted from the change, right?
Yeah.
And so when we look at it that way, that here she comes. When we look at it that way, that we're being interrupted from the expansion, when
Yes.
we see it and just break through and just keep on going and
Ju-
don't take it like we're having difficulties. We can do this later
Which is
again.
similar to what all this is about, is our purpose. We're going to continuously overcome these hurdles that
Right,
we have to be
right,
secure in knowing that we are walking towards, getting
right,
to our set of shoes and like getting over
right,
that, letting it stop us.
right.
Mhm.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. It's like she's coming back, but she's not back.
Yeah.
So it's us really coming to this place, and just like Tiffany said, it's so weird because I've known Tiffany mom, oh my God, for like ever.
Mhm.
And I started watching her content and I just go like crazy. Because she's
Like,
like, I was just
wow.
like, whoa. And when I would hear what she said, it just like really touched my heart. And I go, God, she's on the same timeline. She's on the same track that I'm in purpose that I see myself going also.
Yeah.
And it's just like when I saw you, I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my God. And I saw it almost what I saw and what I think is just so beautiful. So beautiful. It's the evolution of the feminine energy, the evolution of the female understanding
Yeah.
who she is.
Yeah, because I remember when I first met you in multi-level marketing, that was really the beginning of social media. I wasn't quite sure, I just was like I was doing gig works 9 to 5,
Right,
kind of that. And then we
right.
went into that and I met you and you remember where I was at. I was at a pretty dark spot.
Right.
I was even like, I was couch surfing. I was sleeping in my car. I was debating if I, believe the father of my kids. And like, it was a really, really shitty spot, actually. But every piece of that has led me to be where I need to be. And I just decided, like, when we had the conversation, it was only a couple days before did I decide to go live, that you decided to hop on, that you meet these people in the process to elevate you to your purpose. But it's definitely important that you stay well aware of like the distractions. Which one are distractions? Which ones are the ones to elevate?
Right. So. And you know what's so interesting about that? Because it's so weird, because a lot of times we don't even know what people are really going through in their life. A lot of times we don't know. Tiffany,
you just hopped on the
okay. Breast. Give Tiffany a breast of what we were talking about. What you were just saying about where you were that brought you to this place.
Yeah. Well, I was just. Oh no. Yeah. Well, all I was just saying real quick. Well, you had great points. Every time you have a great point, that camera cuts off.
And we've been attacked. I said we've been attacked.
Yes. No, I'm persevering tonight because it's 11:11 and there's some magic about to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Yes. Yeah. But what she was saying is like she said that she, like, when I first met her, she was really in a dark place. She's going through a lot of transition. And it's so crazy because how I move through the world is literally through my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to have anyone to make me feel bad for moving through the heart. Moving through my intuition with the understanding that people are brought into your world. You see them for a reason. And so it was so interesting when Sierra, when I was, we went to like she said, an event together, and I was watching her on Facebook, and I go, I want to just bless her.
Yeah, I did. I was at a pretty low spot.
And I didn't even know, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And you didn't know. And it wasn't until I got into the chair did I kind of just open up, where I was like, this and that. Because I would give tons of excuses like, come and get your hair done. I don't have any money. I can't do it. I didn't do this, because I didn't want to open up about really where I was at.
Right.
You have to be really vulnerable to someone you don't know.
Right.
You're also embarrassed about your life, your situation, your choices. And then I just sat down and it's like, I just was like, this is where I'm at, yada, yada, yada. And then still, even then, it took time to get back into where she needs to fit again, within our process, because we come in and out of cycles of life, and it's really a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when you're in that process, and this is, I would have loved to have her on. I didn't even think to invite her at the time, but she's one of my dear friends. And in 2000, I think it was 2018, 19, she was staying with me, and we were sitting on the couch one day, and we go like, really, we're in a cocoon state. We are literally in a cocoon state, and we were like being broken. And, because in order to become a butterfly, you must die to self. You must die to your internal process or thoughts or how you see things. Like you literally have to surrender.
Yeah.
You literally have to surrender. And I was telling her, I go like, we're in this process of this like change. We are all changing. And when you look at the analogy of the butterfly, you can't speed up that process, and nor can you delay that process, because it's all timing. And so I was even saying her, it's just like I felt like I was out of the cocoon state, but I was still stuck to it. And they've said that if you are a butterfly and you stuck to the and you're stuck. I read somewhere, and you stuck to the cocoon, and someone releases you too soon, you will die. So you have to stay in that process until till nature, to the process of your evolution comes, that you can free yourself to fly.
Mhm.
Right. So it's so interesting that when you were saying that, it was just so interesting. Everybody's there. Hello, everybody. I'm Sarah Scoprio Her. Look into my bio and show up, show out. Thank you for following. I am not taking any requests today. We're just I'm having a broadcast. It's Sierra and Tiffany, and we're talking about real women with real talk. So if you are interested, go into my live. It's in my bio, and you can hear it live. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here. Like and follow. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, girls. And so,
Well, she dropped off
kind
again.
of interesting. It's
There she
kind of interesting. We got you, girl. We
We
got
got you. Every time you hop on here, you're in a different spot. You're like, try this.
we got you, right? No
Yes.
worries.
Oh, these electrical issues. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
So I could see you all, but then I
Exactly.
couldn't hear you. I'm like, oh, come on.
Exactly.
It's been a day. I don't know about you ladies, but literally,
Hi, I want to
thanks.
say hello. Miss you know what? I am not going to even try to pronounce your name.
Oh no!
But I
In the
thank
chat.
you for coming on. I thank you for saying, amen. I'm glad that what our guests are talking about resonates with you. Share this with your friends and have them come on board. These are real women with real talk. Talk to you soon. Thank you. And I'm hearing you guys in the chat. I'm hearing all you guys in the chat. I'm looking at your chats. Thank you so much. Oh, did we lose Tiffany again?
No, I'm
There
here.
you are.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here.
I don't know how to widen my screen. I am so
It's okay.
confused.
It's
I
okay.
told you I just started this today.
Yeah.
I just started this new forum today. So yeah, it's just, so Tiffany, just finish and tell us finish your entry.
Yeah. So sorry. You know what? Thank you so much for being patient.
Oh no, girl.
I
It's
appreciate that.
retrograde. We got
Yes.
eclipses coming like
Like it ain't nobody's business, but
right, right. I'm serious. No joke.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So well, like I'm kind of like, let me gather myself. Let me start over again, okay? Because
Okay, sure.
because
Yeah.
people are coming in. And so I'm Tiffany Nakatani, the founder of Love in a Cup, where tea's a vibe, and also a self-care practice for women called Pour Into Her. And I have combined those two things together because number one, I,
Tiffany, I don't
uh-huh,
mean to interrupt, but take your screen and move it up so people can see you, so they can see you, okay? Because I could just see your mouth. Perfect.
is
That's
that
yeah,
good?
okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, so I work with herbs, and I also offer tea. And that came to me, and I started working with herbs and tea when I was experiencing some health challenges in my own body. Um, and I was sharing earlier that, I started working with tea and herbs, I want to say back in 2018. But the amazing thing about it is that I have come from a line of women that worked with herbs, like my grandmother. And, she had an herbal garden. She lived in Texas. And of course, she would grow her own food. And so it's always been in my blood. But with the circumstances, it brought me, to this place where it's like, now you're going to work with it. And then just with that whole journey with my health and things led me into offering custom blends, customized blends. So I customize blends for other people, especially women who are facing their own challenges, anywhere from, autoimmune diseases like I had, from, you know, depression, from anxiety, things like that. So I work with herbs, and I offer them to people based on the energetics of their body. Herbs are like people. So not one herb is the same. They don't function the same in people's bodies. And that's because also we're different, not one of us are the same. And
Right.
so I decided to start my tea business through my experiences. And when I started my tea business, I needed help. I was a stay-at-home mom. It was the first time I was able to stay at home, because prior to that, I was a single mom. And it was just my daughter and I worked hard and met my husband and got pregnant again. So I was able to stay at home, and not because, I didn't want to work or anything, but I had this opportunity to really be there and care for my children in a way that I didn't have before. So because of that, though, and, working with my teas and herbs, it just opened the door for me. I started, creating customized blends for family members, loved ones, friends. I also, took natural remedy courses and holistic courses to, direct me and help me with herbal knowledge and how to work with, different herbs and teas. And then I'm currently in the process of becoming a tea sommelier. And there is such a thing, y'all. A lot of
Feng
people are like,
shui. Feng
yeah.
shui.
People are like, oh, I thought that was just for wine. No, it's for tea too. So it's been amazing, the journey. But one thing I love about tea is that there's so many lessons in it as well. It goes all the way back, in the history of tea, as to how tea was discovered and how tea was enjoyed. And usually tea was brought out when you were, having guests and loved ones and people over. You would offer them tea as a way of having them feel loved and accepted, and you would have conversation with them. Tea would, bring people together. And so I loved that whole concept as well. And, with that, I started my business, needed help. But from there, it led me to start another business. At the time, it was called Boss Women Unite. Sarah, you probably remember that.
Yes, I remember it. Yes.
So, yeah, it was called Boss Women Unite. And it was a platform that I created for women who were entrepreneurs or wanting to start their own businesses. So I would basically create a platform to where they could set up and test their businesses by throwing pop-up markets and things like that. I also had contracts with the local TV stations like the Morning Blend and all those things. So where an ordinary mother or a woman like all of us would have a hard time getting in front of an audience, I was able to bring these women together and put them in front of an audience of millions of people over the TV. So it gave them the opportunity to be seen and heard and, have a start. But it just kind of, it catapulted from that. But of course, with that, when you're in something like that, you begin to connect together. And that's what I loved. A community of women from different walks of life, different backgrounds, were there for a common purpose. And that was to start a business, to have a platform to do so where we probably wouldn't have the opportunity, anywhere else. And just really get around other like-minded women who were there to encourage and support each other. So I found myself coaching a lot, coaching a lot about mindset. And then, a lot of stuff that I learned, it was like I received and then I gave it. Because I'm a firm believer that, information and knowledge and wisdom that we receive is not to just be kept to ourselves, right?
Right.
So if, because I'm constantly a student and I'm constantly a teacher.
Right.
And I think, right. So I think that's with all of us, right? There's things that we know that we're an expert in, like Sierra, I've been watching your videos, and I want to say thank you so much because you got me into that, what is it? The GP chat, the AI. Oh my, I was like, okay, thank you, Sierra. I've been watching. So it's like, so it's like connecting with you, Sarah, connecting us together. And I feel like I feel like that this dynamic is here with the three of us too, as I became a broker of people. Connecting people together. It was like, I can give you my expertise. It comes to this point, but this woman over here who's in business for this reason, she brings in her piece. And it was just a domino effect, and it grew into something big. And I started throwing pop-up markets, at the malls. I had contracts with the mall, and I would lease out a store, and it just created such a momentum that was so amazing. And I was able to offer my teas, but at the same time, it was like I lost track of myself again, right? And I was doing so much for everyone else that I got so burnt out. And it was like I wasn't, as I began to help people mind their business, I wasn't minding my own. And when that happens, you create chaos. You create an inner chaos. And it's like this snowball. It just you start doing it, and it starts off real small, but then you keep rolling along and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And by that time you have no control over it. So it's like, it becomes hard for you to say no, even though you're exhausted, you're tired, you haven't seen your kids, you haven't, done anything for yourself. But it's like I became this yes woman, and just feeling so burnt out, coming home and being resentful towards my husband, my kids, and anybody else, not having time
Move
for them. They ask me questions. I was. They're like, Mom, I'm all, what? But at the same time, just losing myself. And so I had to really, literally, ladies, I mean, I broke down, but that breakdown became my breakthrough.
Oh.
Okay.
I gotta get a drink on that.
Yes. We'll drink to that. My breakdown, I'm telling you, became my breakthrough because there was so many things that I just got so caught up in the hustle that it caused me to neglect some things. But I'm so glad for it, though, because the only way sometimes for things to be stirred up within us so that we know that it's there and it needs to be uprooted, it's for things to happen, such as breakdown, such as, your anxiety, your depression. It's telling you something. It's telling you that something's going on in here. Pay attention. So I began to get still with myself. And with that, I created my own. I mean, it's been around, but I customized it for myself because, I said, I already loved tea and knew how to work with certain herbs, but I began my own tea practice, which that's where pour came from. Because as you prepare your tea, the history of preparing tea, you're not really supposed to rush through it. You're supposed to prepare your tea and take time preparing that tea and appreciate certain things. So what is it teaching you? Mindfulness. It's teaching you to get present. And then as I begin to do that, it was like I began to prepare the tea, then I would let it steep in the water. And tea you know, it has, depending on the type or the variety of tea, you let it steep for so long, right? So depending on where you're at and how you move through things, sometimes you've got to sit in a place and steep a little bit
Right.
longer than others.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta see.
You got to
And
steep.
you know what I love? I'm enough. The moment I opened it, oh my God, I love the smell.
Yes.
Like, I would like to put this in my bath water. I'm sorry.
But you can. You
Yeah.
can. You
You can.
absolutely can. So that's
I
what
love the way it smells.
yes. See, so I also, so tea is much more than something you drink, but it's a practice because you can use it for so many things. You can use it as a facial steam. You can steep your body in it. You drink it, you know, so you can
Right.
definitely absorb it in your skin. I mean, there's so many uses for it, and it
Girl.
helps your body in so many ways, you know,
Right,
and
right.
just that's what helped me create that relationship. But even just pouring the tea, and it's like, you know, pouring the tea into the cup, it's like that analogy of you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So that
Right.
analogy hit me as I began to sit in my practices, because as I was pouring my teacup, I realized that, you know what, me having these be still moments is me pouring into myself, filling my cup,
Right.
you know? And
It's an
so
affirmation.
yes, absolutely. It is like it's like a moving, breathing prayer. And
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I have people that are like, Tiffany, that's so woo-woo. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? It probably is if you're
You
not
know what?
used to being connected that way.
Never apologize
Right.
for your divineness.
That's right. And you know what? And I've learned
Never
that too. I'm like,
apologize for
I'm
that.
not hiding that part of me anymore, because that's really like in all of us, we have those things that make us so powerful.
Exactly. And you know, like I'm so glad you said that, what you said, because what I put in the title is because, and what made me, you know, I was telling Sierra what made me think about that. It's the jealousy within our female community, and the naysayers. You literally have to, like when you're pouring into yourself, you literally have to shut off any type of negative that will come against your desires, your wishes, your expansion, everything that you're trying to do. And so, like, Tiffany, I was so attracted to when I saw one of your YouTubes and you were talking about pouring into yourself. You know, I was just so touched by that, because I am so intuitive. And like you know, we said earlier, it's just like, I'll see people, my heart will go out to them, and there I go.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to hold back, because not everybody deserves all of that, you know, and not all everyone gonna appreciate it. And so I've been working on how to be more mindful of keeping my cup filled. And I
Yeah.
love what you said, the last conversation we had, keeping it running over so you have enough to give to others.
And I
Right.
think, yeah, and I really love when you said that. Well, first off, Tiffany, your tea arrived just in time because everyone in my household got sick. So everyone was getting sick, and there was all these. I feel like recently too, with just women, when you talk about like jealousy and things like that, I feel like there's just this spiritual attack on women, and we're always in this like, I got to do more. There's more to society. I have to be better. I have to be stronger for my kids. I have to be better than the last generation. So I love your analogy of like when you're pouring into your cup, you have to be still, because it's not like you're pouring a cup of coffee, because you're pouring the cup of coffee because you're like, oh, I got a bunch of stuff to do, you know.
Right.
But
But
it's
when
like,
you pour tea,
yeah,
you're
It's a
like,
whole different
oh yeah,
level.
and
oh
it
yeah.
and I
Let me
think
sit
with
back
your
and
energy
relax.
too, of like you running the business and the energy and everything you have, it just comes in the package. Like I got your package and it just felt like a breath of fresh air. Because
And
Oh,
there, everybody, this
about
is
that's
Tiffany has
awesome.
samplers, so please and give a shout out to your website.
Yes.
because I mean,
Absolutely.
this,
Absolutely.
I love this. I am enough.
Yes,
I'm gonna be ordering some of this anyway. I'm just letting you know.
absolutely. Yes,
I'm ordering some of that because I want that in
absolutely.
my tub and in my cup.
Yes, absolutely. You got it. No, absolutely. Yeah, so the name of my brand or my website is www.loveinaCupblends.com. And the line that you ladies are drinking from is from the line of blends called I Am.
Oh,
They're the
nice.
I Am blends. So you have I Am Enough, I Am Healing, I Am Whole, I am open to this moment. I was gonna drink I Am Enough, but I wanted to also be open as a channel, just to
Right,
receive and then to pour out today.
right,
So I have a blend called I Am Open to This Moment that just,
right,
opens
right.
you up. So that's what I'm
Oh,
drinking,
yes.
but it's the I Am tea blends. And you can find me on Instagram at loveinacup_tea vibe. And then for the pour into her, the self-care practice, you can find me on Instagram as Tiffany Nakatani, pour self-care. And then you can also find me on YouTube as well, like the videos. I started to share like my tea meditation. So if you wanted to follow along and just, ground yourself in the moment, you could also do that. But I definitely, with pour into her, I definitely wanted to be able to empower women into transformation,
Mm, mm.
you know, because like you said, Sierra, you said something, if you said, women in jealousy and just there being a spiritual attack, like when it's funny you say that because I've actually been sitting back and just, looking at just things that are going on in the world, things that are going on around us, meeting women, beautiful women like you and Sarah, and just so many women as to, what we face and experience in life. And you're so right. It has been an attack from the beginning of time,
Yes,
from the beginning of
yes.
time. But I feel like, even through the adversity, we are being stirred and empowered to rise up in who we are and not as feeling like we have to compete against the masculine energy or we have to continue to move through the world in that way, right? Because what we've been taught, because we had to go into the workplaces, is that we had to get strong and we had to toughen up. So a lot of us, we've moved through life numb
Right,
because
right,
if you were
right,
too soft, you wouldn't make it in the workplace.
right. Well, and
Have
the
been-
interesting thing that you said about that is that when you look at it historically, women at times, the reason they had to go into the workforce is not necessarily just economically.
Right.
Sometimes they went into the workforce because they they went through a divorce or they were single parents, and so that dichotomy is did this revolution, this change to the feminine energy. And I love what, like Sierra said, you're right, it is an attack against her. It's an attack against the feminine energy, understanding and really cultivating ourselves. It's just like when you said, Tiffany, sometimes you have to let that tea steep. And when you let that tea does that I call that the pause. We see pausing as a weakness. Pausing is actually a flex.
Yeah.
Gives you an opportunity to be retrospective and to really own who you are here
Yep.
in your
Yes.
third eye. Because all this here, is just chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
Is to distract you. It really
Yeah,
is.
it's distracts, and you know, it's just like when we can come together as the feminine energy in our divine self and our divine way, and start supporting each other, you
Mhm.
know, and I'm saying this to all of us, the chat, is that start literally supporting each other, sharing gifts. Like I am just, I learned so much from you, Sarah, watching your TikToks, you
Yeah.
know, and just being able
Yep.
to support each
Yeah.
other. What are
And
we doing? We're raising the vibration. We're
yeah.
raising the consciousness of women. We're causing, like, women. I hear women in my chair all the time,
Mhm.
and what they're seeking is rest.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, we all have definitions of what that rest means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pressure
Yep.
of being a woman,
Yeah.
Mhm.
pressure.
Yeah, and it's really, and I also think it's important to, like, when you say pour into yourself, to let it flow out, because there's so many people, I think, with social media. I say this speaking from, you know, a millennial Gen Z. I'm in 96, so I'm at the second half. Technically, I'm a Gen Z, but
Wow. Yeah.
I don't want to say
Yeah.
it. I don't want to say
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
When I say that, I really think in my timeline, when I sit back and I think about this
Yeah.
all the time, I'm like, social media is so new. And now we're in this inspiration cycle where everybody is inspired by each other, but it's so important to protect your spirit and your energy and
Right.
pour into yourself, because so many people are pouring out before they even know what they're
Right.
talking
Right.
and they're
Right.
Right.
giving, you know, environmental
Right.
situations. So
Right.
it really is, it's really a weird time, but it's a great time too, to, like you said, elevate other people, to pour into yourself, to find the advice, the community, which is where I think this next shift, when I think of the evolution of social media from when I was a kid to what it is now, I really think there's this huge just paradigm shift of communities, not just from marketing and money standpoint, like
Right.
obviously,
No.
but it's
So
just
we're
everybody's kind of just like, well, where do I fit in? Who do I,
Right.
what do I do right now? And even and a lot of women too are coming forward like, hey, we got the short end of the stick. I don't really want to go be a correctionals officer. I don't
Right.
really want to do
well,
that.
and the interesting thing is that if we really just sit down and pause about it, we have been, and I've been saying this since 2018, is that we have been programmed to be a certain way.
Mhm.
And so under that conditioning, and not only women being programmed, men are being programmed how he should receive the feminine energy. And I think we're in the shift that we are actually creating a new template. We're
Mhm.
actually creating a new form of what femininity is, and it's not how you think you see it. We all think we can put things on Facebook and say, or Instagram and say, oh, that is what feminine energy.
Mhm.
No, feminine energy is very unique to each of us in a different way, according to what we see in our own internal light, what
Mhm.
we see inside of our soul. And
Mhm.
so I just see this evolution of women growing, the greatest currency that we have here to now today with GP chat and all these IA coming is connection.
Yeah.
Right.
Connection cannot be bought.
Mm-mm.
Connection cannot be orchestrated.
Right. You know, and along with that, because I know even for myself, especially after COVID, I was so concerned about like just the internet and things taking over and replacing like the human touch, you know,
Mm.
because that is so important. You think about the experiments they've done with babies when, as soon as the baby's born and the baby's not touched or held,
Yeah.
for so long, how they automatically start seeing changes in the baby, and then as that baby grows, up, they start to see, these behaviors, that happen.
Right.
And it's so true, because I know, and I really believe that we were created for that human connection, that human touch.
Oh yeah, that's why we
Right.
were. That's why
That's what
we're
we're,
being,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I was
You can't separate that.
right. And so I was really like concerned like about that. But then as I'm like, moving forward, because the thing about it is whether we like it or not, the world is shifting.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
world is moving along. And like you said, the paradigm is shifting. And
Right.
I think what is important as time moves on, that we don't stop being who we are, but
Right.
that we learn to connect to our gifts. We learn to connect to who we truly are, to be able to still show up in this changing world and this changing society. And what I really believe is happening right now, especially with women and in the feminine energy, is that there is a rebirth happening.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
There's a rebirth happening where we are being born again. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
I feel that so much, like in my womb area too. Like as I'm talking to you about it, I feel it in the womb, that
Mhm.
sacral
Yeah.
area, because
Right.
that's where our creativity comes from. And that's where everything is birthed in that. And I
Exactly.
feel
Yes.
like in this time that we're moving into, it's so important as women that we do take these moments to be still and connect with that womb energy, that creative energy in our womb. And that
Mhm.
is where our gifts lie. That is where our creativity lies. That intuition there is going to speak to us how to show up
Yes. Yes.
But
in
you know
this
what's so
time.
interesting by you saying, like how you saying that? It's the flower effect. When you begin to come to that fullness of that and understanding who you are as a feminine divine, you begin to flower. And what happens when you flower? The
Right,
bee is able to come in and
right,
pollinate and
Mhm.
begin to procreate
right,
the beauty of the divine.
Mhm.
right.
And
And
that's
that
what
flower source and essence, though, comes from that soil that it's being planted
right,
in, right? To be
right.
able
So
to
what
open
you
up and for the bee to be able to feed
and
off
that
of that,
soil
right?
is the
We got
masculine
to be rooted.
energy.
Yeah,
The
we got to be
soil is
rooted.
the masculine energy.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, and it's almost like we're I had a vision a few years ago, and we were like in a desert, and I could see the pyramids and everything, and that's what we're going through as a collective. That's what we're going through all together. It's like the soil is so hard
Yeah.
and dry, and we're wilting, and so all of a sudden it just like Source had to come in and intervene
Mhm.
mm,
to just shake us, to bring us to a place that we would be able to be, because sometimes we have to be broken in
Yeah.
order to be recreated.
Yep. Like you said, the breakthroughs. You have to have the breakthroughs. So I really
Mhm.
wonder from you ladies, what do you think for somebody like I know Sarah, you're hosting this, but I'm just wondering this from you ladies as having just more experience in your business and your journey and things like that, just to hear from you too. What do you think from someone that is just completely lost right now? Just their energy is broken, they're not sure what direction to go. Where do you think that starts for somebody?
A lot of times it's a seed of a call. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with human design, but I'm a
mhm,
projector. So in
Mhm.
my human design, I don't ask, I get a call.
Mhm.
mhm,
And we always think that call is somebody calling you on the phone or, hey, come over here.
Mhm.
No, It's an energetic call. One thing that I have noticed, that because I've changed what I do behind the chair, I don't just do hair. You know, there's times that I do just hair, but most of the time I'm coaching as I'm doing hair. And so when I really understood that you cannot force a person that is in the cocoon to come out, you must wait until they are, it's almost like we're on a ship and we're on this journey. As we're in this, we can be in that ship thousands and thousands and thousands of years, right? And then somebody comes and all of a sudden our little capsule opens. That is our awakening, right? And all of a sudden we don't know where we're at. We don't know where we're going. We don't know where we've been. And so there's a person that greets us and guides us and hydrates us and shows us. That's what we're doing. And so you have to be lost before you're found. And one thing that I keep being told is you cannot force another person's evolution. Their evolution will seek after you. And when you pause in that, and you're totally clear about it, they will watch you. And as they watch you, it's like your heart source is part of source. And your heart source is actually drawing them into your auric field at their designated time. So they will be receptive. I had a young lady that I used to work with, and I was just being myself. You know what she told me before she woke up is all she would do, she could not wait to go to work because she didn't know what I was going to say. She did not understand a word I was saying, but she would go home and look it up. And she had an awakening. Now she blows me away. She blows me away. She does the month of dance. You know, I was going to have her on. And you know, when it's time for that person, it could be your loved ones, it could be your significant. You just keep being who you are, they will be activated.
Okay. So you're kind of like saying like people just have to, it's not going to be blatantly clear, but it's blatantly clear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a soul drawing. They're not thinking like I think today.
How do I get out of
it's something that's drawing them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I agree with that. And to add to that and to answer your question, from what I believe to be happening, Sierra, is I believe that women, young and old, are feeling a deeper calling, right? So they might not know what it is. They might feel like they are lost, like they're just kind of waking up and just going here and there. And, you know, especially too, there's so much, like I said, there's just so much going around in the world, so much stimulation, that it's so easy to get lost in comparison to what everyone else is doing and missing the opportunity to figure out what that is that's going on inside. And so I believe that the only reason why we feel lost is because we haven't had the opportunity to get still and to go inward.
Yeah.
You know, to understand what that feeling is, what that call is, because I do believe that women, you know, are longing to discover and find out who they truly are and
Right.
embrace their natural abilities, right? I feel like women, they want to begin living their greater meaning and purpose in life.
Right.
You know, I
And really
believe that,
living in your truth.
and
Yeah.
living in their truth and being able to voice that, and to
Mhm.
be able to show up in the world as to who they are, being able to make connections, healthy connections with, whether it be with their loved ones or with themselves, or even, single women who want to make healthy connections, finding a mate,
Mhm.
um, and I believe that, women are in a place right now too, where they're like wanting to figure out how to let go of
Yeah.
those fears, that hold them back, the negative thinking, the self-sabotage. we
Codependency.
that's right, we are in that place where I believe that there is a deeper yearning inside of women, and
Mhm.
we're being called out, and you feel lost naturally when, number one, when your navigation is lost, right? It's like
Mhm.
when we're trying to get somewhere, and so we get on Google Maps, Google,
Right.
give me the address, direct me. And then, we're on the way, but then what happens? Like what's been happening to me all night tonight? Google freezes up, and
And
you're like, you're stuck, right? Because you're
you
like,
pull over.
yes, and you're just sitting there like, come on. And what starts to happen? You start feeling anxiety, you start feeling lost, you start feeling irritated and agitated, and because you lost your way, right? And so
Right.
we've got to, that's why um
And
it is so important for us to take these moments, to be
mhm.
still, to be self-aware. At least take the moment, if you're feeling off, take that moment just to be still and sit with it for a little bit, and
Mhm.
to figure out, okay, I feel off and something doesn't feel right. Let's sit with it. You might not be able to pinpoint it just yet, but
Mhm.
sit with it, sit in it, and just be aware. And this is how I work with the women that I guide, as an empowerment guide and a self-care guide.
Mhm.
This is one of the things we do to become aware, because when
Mhm.
you're able to feel it, it's there.
Right.
Then, like you said, and then you asked the question, Sierra, well, how do you begin to deal with that? Well, the way we begin to deal with it is we got to first off be aware that it's there, feel it, sit
Mhm.
with it, right?
Mm.
And
Right.
then we gotta start asking ourselves questions like,
Mhm.
well, what's going on? When do you really feel that way? When do you really feel lost? Is it when you're watching so and so do this? Is
Yeah.
it when you're watching this woman over here and the way it looks like she's caring for her kids?
Is it in comparison?
And then
And also,
comparison, like, let's go there. And
mhm.
then the way, though, we're going to find transformation and be empowered to change that is when we get to the root.
Mhm.
Right.
We've got to get to the root of things.
And realize when you're in it, like why? Because sometimes it's a trigger.
Mhm.
Right.
Sometimes it's a trigger. So you have to realize that it's not a trigger and it's not a part of you.
Yeah.
It's like your, like she said, your navigation system to
Mhm.
tell you where you're at. Um, and you got to understand, women are coming in to their awakening, and as they come into their awakening, I had a client that sat in my chair and she was like in a panic. Oh my God,
Mhm.
my kid, she was having a awakening in my chair.
Wow.
And
Mhm.
and it was like and she was just flustered. She did not know what to do. She was worried about her kids. And
Mhm.
I had to, number one, just pause, because my number one responsibility there was to comfort her, guide
Mhm.
her, and calm her.
Mhm.
So I put my hands on her shoulders and I go, it'll be okay. your kids will be fine. And then I started showing her, and what I always say is just study, 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 meditate, meditate, meditate. I have a lot of clients. I would say 90% of my chair, the women are either awakened or they're awakening or they're curious about the awakening.
Mhm.
They will find you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, yeah, the having the spirituality in yourself or the knowledge within yourself is because then you're attracting exactly who you need to attract at the time.
Exactly.
Instead of just people like, I don't know what you're talking about, or
Right.
when you said Tiffany, you're like, people are like, yeah, sure, you know,
Right.
but and then you start to get so sound within like who you are, you're like, you don't even attract them. And if you do, it's like they don't matter because it's not going to affect the energy.
And they're not going to resonate with you. They
Right.
like literally, and that's where how we talk about jealousy and stuff like that. The only reason they see jealousy because they don't understand the light within you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or within themselves.
Exactly. And then
If-
sometimes
yeah.
if they're in a dark place and they're not in a good place, the moment you walk into the room, they feel, and you don't even know. Half the time you don't have a clue. You're
Right.
just living in your truth. And
Yeah.
and you're offending someone just living in your truth.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need social media to see your happiness. Your happiness is
Yeah.
lying within you, and everywhere you go, you know, I can see your third eye right now. It is wide open, girl.
Wow.
So it's just that is, yeah, like really, like your third eye, you are powerful, Sierra. You just, what you're doing is you're just trying to see, what does that mean to me?
Yeah.
You know, how what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You just be you,
Yeah.
and they will come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that piece of advice. I really appreciate that, Sarah, because I feel, you know, it's being born into social media. It's so easy to watch,
Right.
easy to watch and then try to rush and speed up the process and then yourself down and out, broken, spiritually unsound. But it's so funny you ladies, like you guys have reached out to me because lately, without knowing it, people that are spiritually involved have reached out to me like, you know, you have something good, you have this and that. And it's like when you said it's not there. I've been like looking for it, but not looking for it subconsciously.
Yeah.
Right.
Something inside of my womb is like, we're more than this, Sierra, but I'm like not talking to anybody. But then they attract because they're like, hey, I don't know if anyone's ever told you, but you know, this is. And so it's really interesting, the whole process.
People will see you.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what the process is. And I really believe the shift for the feminine energy is actually going to, we haven't had one in like, I would say in our lifetime. And that's why when you're looking at the feminine energy, you can actually spot a woman that has elevated
Mhm.
in a crowd, because her continence precedes her, you know, and she's not trying, you know. It's so weird. The moment a client walks in the door, I almost know in a full place that she's coming to me by her third eye.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? And so just work on being the best Sierra that you can be, Tiff.
I appreciate
Lay it is, you know, I don't even know what to say. I feel so blessed to know both of you. I just see so many things happening to you guys, and I am so glad that you was open to come and talk with me. I wanted to have some positive stuff on my channel because sometimes I have to get brutal. I have to get brutal because our masculine energy are in a state of crisis right now.
Yeah.
But they you know, they have to go their dark night. And so I wanted the women to see women that are, girl, your third eye is out of control right now.
Oh, me? Oh,
It's
of course, it's just a ring light.
Oh, girl, you
I got
beautiful.
it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it like, oh my God. So
This ring light just shining off the
I'm like, dude, I'm just like, I don't even need a light for my makeup. I got your head. Like, you just like, man, I love it. So I'm very grateful, thankful. I love you guys so much. I look forward to watching you guys grow some more and more and more. And so thank you guys for showing up, showing out. If you missed it, I think it's going to record. I don't know if it's going to record because this is a new form. I'll turn you guys on to this form. It's very easy. I think you guys will love it. So thank you very much.
Yes,
I
really
don't know. I really don't know how to turn it off either.
No,
Thank you.
I love you guys so much. Thank you. I don't even know how. Let's stop it.
Fun.
Oh, she did good.
Yeah, she got up.
I don't know how to do it. Like,
Appreciate
stop. Oh, stop cam. Bye-bye, Sarah.
Bye.
I love you. Bye-bye.